time for our tail of the tape for this featherweight fight. Kayla Yontef, 2 years the elder of Carlene Chandler, 23-21. It is Chandler that stands 3 inches taller, both on point at weigh-ins, and Carlene Chandler will have a 1-inch reach advantage. To get our night officially underway, here is Joe Martinez.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, live from Memorial Hall here in Kansas City, Kansas, a very good evening and welcome to an exciting night of women's professional mixed martial arts for your enjoyment. This is Invicta FC. And now, fight fans, we are set to go 3 rounds this scheduled in the featherweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in officially 145 3/4 pounds tonight. She makes her professional debut, fighting out of Stockton, California. Here is Carlene Chandler. And across the cage, her opponent fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 6 inches tall. She weighed in officially 145 1/2 pounds, and she too tonight makes her professional debut, fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Here is Kayla Danger Yontef. And your referee in charge of the action, Marcio La Selva.
Marcio La Silva getting this featherweight assignment, kicking off our night here in Kansas City. 2 newcomers. It is Carlene Chandler taking on Kayla Yontef. TJ DeSantis, Eve Edwards, Misha Tate live tonight inside Memorial Hall. Quick takedown here early. Yontef now in the close guard here of Chandler.
I think I called that one, huh?
Trying to push her away is Chandler.
A little up kick there to the chin. And good hip pressure here right now by Kayla. As you see right here, she's managing to balance very well despite the effort coming from the bottom game there of Carlene. She looks to pass here. We'll see if she can keep that.
Short little elbow found a home there for Yontef. Chandler covering up now. Some left hands.
And Yontef looks like the bigger woman in this exchange right now. She's muscling Carla up, and she's just keeping her pressed up against the fence, and again she's trying to drag her back down to the mat.
Chandler doing a great job though, really, as she gets taken down, but she did battle her way up there for a second. Now she finds her knees being pressed together, and Yontef still on top here.
Carlene's got this Kimura grip here.
Nice, she's mounted.
Yeah,
had to bail on it.
She's forcing Chandler to make decisions. Do you want to give up your back, or do you want to give up mount? And that's kind of what she alluded to coming out here, is how she finishes will not be her choice. It will be the opponent's, and she may be on the verge of that here, dropping a lot of heavy right hands, heavy ground and pound from that mounted position.
The output here by Yontef has slowed a little bit. Needs to pick her shots here. Can't go be too aggressive and then gas early, Eve.
Can't gas early, and also we see Chandler on the bottom. She's working her defenses and her escapes, so you can't be too vicious, too aggressive from the top and lose position. You want to at least keep position so that you can reset and go back to throwing those strikes.
Chandler really not accepting this position, Misha. She hasn't gotten free, but she's always scrambling, always moving.
Yeah, she's not settling. She's definitely trying to stay active even from the bottom. She's desperately trying to get back to her feet. And each time that she does, you see right here, Yontef just managing to drag her back down to where she is comfortable, where she knows she shines, and that is on the ground.
Chandler crawled her way back to the fence, and Yontef still relentless with this pressure.
That was a smart decision to use the fence as kind of the aid to help get back to your feet.
Now back to the feet in space. Briefly are these featherweights. Halfway point of this opening round. Nice kick there to the leg of Chandler by Yontef.
Nice right hand by Yontef too, over the top again.
Very aggressive is Yontef. I mean, you would think that this is only a 1-round fight.
And both of these athletes making their debuts, and you know, for Kayla Yontef, pedal to the metal here early. She's out to prove a point in this Invicta FC debut.
I certainly think she is. Her pro debut also, you know, and she is undefeated as an amateur, so she's looking to, I think, keep that momentum rolling here, very aggressive. Now, if I'm Chandler, I'm gonna look to obviously break, but when I do, to circle away from the cage, right? Because it's obvious that Yontef wants no space, and she wants to pin her up. She's using her hips here. She's got a beautiful underhook, so she has Chandler stuck. Chandler needs to, not only disengage, but get away from that safety net that Yontef is relying on here.
A little under 90 seconds remain here in round number 1. Kayla Yontef able to get that takedown now on top of Carlene Chandler. Half guard position here for Chandler.
And I was waiting to hear that. I just heard the corner for Chandler scream for the underhook. And from this position, you have to fight for that underhook. You're not going to get up, and you're going to take a lot less damage if you have that underhook because you're going to threaten an escape or stand up.
Chandler trying to push Yontef away. Briefly disengaging is Yontef, but not letting Chandler back to her feet.
It's almost like she took a moment there to just decide, what do I want to do next? You see her working kind of from the outside to kick the legs. And look, to Chandler's credit here, she's doing a great job. And now we see Yontef closing the distance. She didn't want to take any more of those kicks. There you see to the knees. Those can be very effective, especially later in the fight if you get a hyperextension of the knee. So I think Yontef is contemplating how to get around that and not take damage.
You mentioned Yontef taking a moment, taking a breath, and that shows a lot of composure for someone making their pro debut on such a big stage.
It certainly does. She seems to have a very good understanding of exactly who she is and where she wants to be, and she would rather be nowhere else tonight than inside the Invicta cage. And here you see it tonight as she's dropping those elbows. She's trying to make a statement.
5 minutes in the books between these featherweights. Kayla Yontef really getting her offense going, but to the credit of Chandler, didn't take too much damage, Eve, but really wasn't able to give much back.
Yeah, no, she created a lot of scrambles from the bottom, didn't allow Yontef to really establish position except for when she was in the mount, but she was able to get out of that. What I would like to see her do is exactly what Misha said, though. When she can make it a successful escape and get back to her feet, circle and put the most real estate in this cage behind her so that Yontef has to cover so much more ground. But they're spending out a lot of energy right now, and I would love to see how that translates going into the second and third round.
See some action here in that first round. Really bully tactics from Kayla Yontef. More of the same from her, you think, Misha, in round number 2?
I don't see her changing the game plan because it worked so beautifully for her in the first round, right? If I'm her coach, I'm going to say, hey, do the same thing. It worked.
We are headed to round number 2 between these featherweights. Kayla Yontef, Carlene Chandler. Kicking off our night here in Kansas City. We want to remind you we are live on pay-per-view starting at 10 in the East. Invicta FC 44, a new era. Champions will be crowned later tonight in both the strawweight and bantamweight divisions. But right now, featherweight action. And we see the open scoring here, Misha, a couple of 10-8s.
Yeah, that's it was a very dominant round for Yontef. I can see why there are some 10-8s. I mean, it was pretty much all ground and pound. Everything was dictated by Yontef. And as we see the start to round 2, looks to be going pretty similarly. Yontef closing the distance again, looking to use the cage. He's trying to turn her. And I think Chandler realizes we can't let that happen.
Again, featherweight's kicking off our night, but in our main and co-main event later tonight, live on pay-per-view, we will crown new champions atop the strawweight and bantamweight divisions. Emily Ducote looks to cash in on Invicta FC Gold when she takes on Dynamite Danielle Taylor, and Lisa Verzosa is back when she takes on a very hard-hitting Tanisha Tennant. That is on pay-per-view later tonight. But right now, Kayla Yontef able to get this fight back to the floor. And again, trying to pass Eve, always active with her pressure.
Always active with the pressure and damage. She's not only passing, she's throwing punches in there to try and create other openings so that she can maybe knee slice and cut through or just get by those legs. But she's not giving Chandler any opportunity to just rest on the bottom and find an easy route to get back to her feet. She's working for everything she's getting. And as soon as she works back to her feet, Yontef is on top, working to get her back to the mat.
Referee Marcia La Silva just got out of the way of that scramble. And now settling in this top position again is Kayla Yontef. And again, Chandler always moving, trying to get back to this half guard, not really giving up any position of dominance to Yontef without being forced to.
Yeah, you know, she seems pretty undeterred despite the fact she's been controlled on the ground. I mean, she's still putting up a valiant effort. You saw her digging there. She was trying to get the underhook. She hasn't been able to get that, and now you see what I call the deputy sheriff. She has the bottom arm captured right there, and it makes it really difficult for her to rotate either direction.
Being patient is Yontef. A little under 3 minutes remain here in round number 2. Now both hooks in here. Flattened out is Carlene Chandler.
This is not good. Chandler's got to get one of those legs to the middle and on the mat so that she can try to get that left leg up and out and fight back to a half guard position. She's got to push on the knees, lace that leg with her left, but it's not going to happen. She turned belly down, and now she's back in the hook position.
Trying to stretch her out here is Yontef.
She is very striking heavy here. She really hasn't gone to look for any clear submissions that I've seen. She hasn't really been digging for the rear naked. I think she wants a TKO tonight. Look, the arm is there. If she wanted to transition for that arm bar, it looks like it's there. I think she wants to finish this fight with her striking.
And Chandler not moving a lot. Marcia La Silva taking a look at it. Might be close to stopping this one. And that's a wrap. It is done. Kayla Yontef, victorious in her Invicta debut. TKO stoppage in round number 2. It really wasn't the most damaging of shots that stopped the fight, but still one-way traffic for Kayla Yontef. She gets it done tonight here at Invicta. It is Invicta FC 44 live on Access TV. Kayla Yontef getting it done tonight in impressive fashion. Eve, it wasn't the most damaging of shots, but it was an accumulation. For Chandler, she just wasn't doing much in the way of throwing anything back, and Marcia La Silva, the referee, had to call a halt to the action.
She really had no opportunity to do anything. I mean, she never had position, and without having position and taking all those shots, although they weren't necessarily, all of them weren't the most damaging, some big shots got through there, and the ref saw enough. That was a really dominant debut, and man, I think Kayla Yontef is someone we should keep an eye on.
Yontef very composed, and again, you know, she's got to credit that to her amateur background. She looked, you know, a lot more experienced than 0-0 pro tonight.
Look, her worth is consistent with how she's always viewed herself, but her confidence is at an all-time high. She went out there and she owned almost every second of this bout. It was a very, you know, congratulations to her because, you know, a successful pro debut, a successful Invicta debut. These lights, the cameras, the action, it can get to you sometimes. It didn't for her. She knows where she belongs, and she really proved that with a finish tonight and a great statement.
At 23 years old, Kayla Yontef looking like an experienced pro tonight inside the Invicta FC cage. She will continue her rise through the ranks at 145. Definitely a performance she is going to be proud of as she dominates Carlene Chandler and gets her out of there in round number 2 via TKO. Invicta FC 44 live tonight on pay-per-view. We crown new champions in the strawweight and bantamweight classes. Appreciate you joining us here live on our preliminary portion. TJ DeSantis, Eve Edwards, Miesha Tate here in Kansas City. Live here on Access TV, Kayla Yontef victorious in her professional debut, and to make it official, here is Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at the official time. 3 minutes, 13 seconds. Round number 2. Referee Marcia La Silva steps in, puts a halt to the bout for your winner by TKO from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Kayla Danger Yontef.
Kayla Yontef getting it done by TKO in round